Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to the Pivotal Podspective. How are we doing, everybody? I'm here with
Adrian, that's me, yeah.
and our guest extraordinaire,
Sophie,
there.
How you doing, Sophie? You all right?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm very, very good. Very excited to be chatting to you. And what do you say, Adrian?
Well, same. What I can say, I'm just waiting to get started with this, excited like always.
Waited to get
Especially
started.
because it's a niche that I like quite a lot, so that's why, yeah.
Look, if you guys don't know, and this is the first time you've seen it, this is the Pivotal Podspective, where we're chatting to people all over the place about their pivotal ideas, ways, tips and tricks they've got, and because they're extraordinaires in their field. And Sophie is an extraordinaire. She's a digital marketing or social media marketing extraordinaire. Would that be right, Sophie?
Yeah, that is right.
Good. And we just had a quick chat before we came on, and just to get to know you a little bit more. And you come from a background of entrepreneurs, don't you? Really, your family of entrepreneurial, aren't they?
Yeah, they've been doing it for years. That's kind of where I got my love for wanting to do that myself.
Yeah, well, we're going live over on Instagram as well. If you guys want to pop over to Facebook, you can see our wonderful extraordinaire guest, Sophie, and, of course, our extraordinaire co-host, Adrian Dorobantu. So hi to everybody on Instagram that's watching.
Yeah.
So, Sophie, you are a social media marketing extraordinaire, and you've got a few things that you pivot on. There's something that you use that works very well for people, which, speaking before we went live, is definitely a difficult area to do. So tell us a little bit about you and your business. I mean, you're quite a fledgling company as well, right? You're quite fresh and new to all this, so you've got no preconceived ideas, which is always a good thing. So tell us a little bit about your business, and then we'll move on to what your pivotal podspective is today.
Yeah, so I've always kind of been around marketing and sales, but I've started my own business about 10 months ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just kind of got into it through, we discussed earlier, but through my brother's shop. So I started with him, helping grow in that. And I kind of just fell in love when I started researching marketing and getting more information about it, just fell in love with it. And I've always had a passion with I love the outcome when you've helped a business grow, and just seeing them all happy face when they get their customers and everything's coming in. So that's kind of what my drive is just getting that what's the word? The outcome kind of for it.
Yeah, results.
Yeah, getting the results in and just seeing that happy customer I absolutely love. So that's kind of my passion for why I got into marketing and stuff. And so I kind of help people with social. So I do my three main kind of services that I provide is social media support, because some people want to manage their own pages, but they just need a bit of guidance. They don't really know kind of what direction
to do.
What to do.
Yeah, or even just little things on if they don't even know how to post an Instagram story, or they don't know how to do sometimes it can just be the simplest thing that people need help with.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to get that across that on my page, that it's okay to ask for help from people, because you're not going to know everything. So that's kind of that side of it.
Yeah.
And then I do also social media management, because some people, if you're really busy, you don't have time to do it yourself. But it is really important to keep consistent on your social media to be able to get the right outcome.
Absolutely.
So I just kind of want to help them see the importance of being on social media while also being consistent. So that's why kind of social media management does help people. And then I've got the little things that I just help with, either some branding strategies if they just need help with that, or content, helping them with their content ideas, because I know it can be quite difficult coming up with ideas. So
Yeah, definitely. So you obviously get to know your clients fairly well, so that you've got a feel for them personally and their business, because social media is that sort of sometimes that more personal side that so you get a feel for the business itself. So you obviously get to know them fairly well, so you can make sure that you're posting out the right things for them, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think that was a little bit easier before, obviously, everything happened with lockdown, because you'd be able to go and visit theirs if they've got a store or a shop, or if they're online. But I mean, it's fine. You can do online stuff now. So I do make sure, because I might not be the right person. Do you know what I mean? There's everyone's kind of different things that I might be no, that's not right for me. You need someone that's in this that's got more interest for it. So I definitely think it's important, especially because you're working quite closely along with them. It's really important to make sure that they get along with me and I get along with them, because at the end of the day, you are working on them with this journey. So I think it's definitely important for the customer to feel like they can have a decision in if they can like you and you can like them, and that kind of
yeah, definitely. And you're based in Essex as well, aren't you? You're not far down the road here, Wickford area, very nice area. So Sophie, simply promotion is your business, and you're a sponge for soaking up all these things. But one of the key things that we spoke about before we started recording is the content side of things, and actually creating content for your clients. Is that right? Is that where your pivotal area is, the thing that you can help to really get that sort of change and get some results?
Yeah, I think it can be a very difficult thing to come up with yourself, especially if you haven't done it before. You don't know what works, what doesn't work, even little things like different colors on backgrounds and just tiny little things that make up great content. And I think a lot of people don't plan before they post. They're just posting for the sake of posting. And I think it's very important to sit down and have a plan before you even think about doing the marketing for yourself or even doing the content. So that's what I kind of get across, is making sure you do have a plan before you even start. And I think some people get a little bit, say if you think, right, okay, we're going to get a month's worth of content in, like, give me some ideas or tell me your services. I think people get a bit overwhelmed sometimes. Because I mean, it's a lot to think about in like a short amount of time. So what I try and get across on my page and to, like, my customers is just take it week by week. Obviously, if you can get a whole lot of months worth of content done, then do it. Like, that's fantastic. But I think if you take it week by week, and even if you just plan your week and just think, okay, yeah, I've done that, it will definitely make it a little bit easier. It's like that saying, fail to plan. Wait, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Plan to fail, that's it, yeah. Make sure you get that the right way around, yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, I definitely, like, I believe in that quote. Like, you really do need to plan stuff out before you just jump into it.
Yeah.
So no, but it can definitely be really difficult thinking of your own content ideas. But I mean, it can also be really exciting, and I think it's just getting that sometimes guidance of what to post and how it can help your business.
So tell us a couple of little things then that you think that's how you can help people to maybe think about that. Because
before that, just a second. So me and Elliot, we just started our own business, and we do lashes. All right, that's what we do.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So we're gonna come to you for
some
help. Okay, exactly. So we're gonna come to you, Sophie, for some help. So what would be the onboard process, or what you would actually do? How you would create content for us? Which, like, from where you're gonna start?
So I'm going to go back to this, but I would start with just kind of starting with a plan. So kind of like a strategy of, okay, what do you say? Okay, I'm trying to put it into perspective of your business.
What's our goal, probably? No? Or what do we want?
What your goal is, what do you want from it? So say if you was going to hire me to do it, for instance, what do you want from my services? What do you want from the content? Where do you want it to lead to? If you don't know that, or you don't know who your ideal customer is, or things like that, then you're just purposely like kind of head in with your content.
So just posting for posting's sake, basically.
Yeah, and that's not gonna, I mean, it will keep the consistency up, but it's not gonna work for its full potential. So I think people need to avoid doing that. Just not post for the sake of posting, and kind of having a plan. So the first thing I would do with you guys is sit down and say, okay, what is your goal? Who is your ideal client? Who are you trying to attract? And you would do this by analyzing, okay, so who tunes into your account? What age is it? Where are they from? What would they be interested in? And once you start to build your information up about this, it helps you then think, okay, what would they be interested in? So if they're younger, then they might be more interested in maybe I'm trying to think of it back into your business now. Yeah, so you just want to be posting.
If you put her on the spot there, Adrian, didn't you? I like that.
Well, I said lashes business. I thought maybe it's gonna be a bit more closer to things that.
But lashes for men, maybe we can do lashes for men. We could do a whole new thing.
I think that's a very difficult market. No, just focus on lashes for ladies. So
really, I think I could do. My mind have disappeared. I mean, I could do with getting mine done actually. But anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, so eyelashes basically. That's why.
Okay, sorry. I thought you meant for your business. I was thinking, I need to put it.
Oh no. He's talking about this is a fictitious business of doing eyelashes, not for men, obviously, because that won't really work.
Sorry. Yeah, so it's just kind of thinking, okay, what would girls asking? So another way of creating content is seeing this is probably the easiest I say coming up with quick content. Is what is the most common question around that subject? So they might be, especially at the moment, so what I've been doing for a few of my beauty clients is people have had eyelashes on and they don't know how to get them off because lockdowns happened.
Okay.
So I've made a lot of content ideas on how to do it from at your own house.
Right. Okay.
So it's kind of seeing a problem and thinking, how can I change that problem for my client?
Yeah.
Into a solution, no? Or some okay.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of a way of keeping it relevant and kind of helping your clients still, especially during lockdown. I think that's what we've kind of all what we're doing is thinking, okay, what I normally do, how can I change it?
Yeah.
So I think at the moment that's quite important for people to keeping your content kind of the same theme, but just changing it obviously compared to what's been happening.
Yeah. So you did put her on the spot though, to be fair, didn't you? Really, I mean, lashes business, and she's trying. I mean, I'm not being fair. That was cruel. It wasn't really.
Business radio, not lashes. There we
go. So then what you do?
Just sorry, go on.
No, go on.
I'm asking you just because being in a similar business, I had discussions like obviously even about lashes. But we always had to explain to people how you onboard clients and what do you do, because otherwise most of them they'll just say, I'm not sure if you ever got these questions like, so how much do you charge per post, or things like this, which are not relevant because it doesn't matter if it's 1, if it's 10, it's the same amount of work that goes into. So that's why I've asked you.
Yeah, no.
And you work with a few different types of people in different industries as well, yeah.
Yeah, so I have, so I work with a guy that does car detailing.
Okay.
So I help him. Sometimes I go down there. He's got a unit, and I help him do some video in. Because I do think video content is brilliant. Obviously, it's not for everyone. It's obviously not for everyone. But I think if you can get used to it, and you can get yourself on camera, or even if you're just taking video shots of your product or your service, it's the best way to kind of boost your page. So that's what I kind of preach on my page, is try and get yourself on video and try and push it in that direction. So I help him with that, getting that videos of him working and of the cars. And I kind of try and keep who I work with something that I know about and that I'm passionate about, because I think that's why it's important to kind of, for me anyway, I think when you're working for someone, it's good to have the same amount of passion as they do as for their own business. Because I think if you don't work with someone that doesn't have a passion for it, they're not going to put in as much effort. Well, that's not for everyone, but you know what I mean. It makes sense completely. So just I like working for people that I have understanding about and I have passion for as well. I help him with his thing, and then obviously I do some work for my brother's shop, which is like the window cleaning business. I also work for a Botox lady, so she does like Botox, skin augmentation.
That's a new one. Botits is a new one.
There we go. Can't talk tonight. Might be a new trend. I might set something.
Botits. Exactly. I mean, listen, I reckon write that down. Somebody write Botits. We'll trademark that later. Anyway, I can think of a few things, but let's move on from that one.
I help do that. I have a lady that does entertainment. So that's kind of another thing, and a wedding shop as well. So yeah, it's quite a wide range of different industries that I work for, but they're all interesting, and I all have a passion for each individual one. So yeah, that's kind of who I do my work for, and help.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So when you do when you're talking about like the content creation, for example, and you've sort of got something, they've said to you, this is what we're looking for, and you've done your bit of research and you're looking for that. It's a difficulty though doing the copy, right? And people, or copywriting, which is the text or the content, as people may not know what copywriting is. They always think the copywriting is when you protect a product or something like that with a C. But you obviously work on that side as well. Is this something you do yourself, or do you have somebody that works with you on the copywriting? I'm curious because it's always an area that I've often found difficult to do. I'm a stickler for it, but it takes time to word it right and then get that right and try it out. Is this something you have a natural flair for, or how do you work with that side?
Yeah, so I work alongside someone that kind of has done marketing for a while as well. So we kind of always run past by with him.
Yeah.
His name is James, so I always run past stuff with him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what I try and do is I try and treat every customer as their own, completely different and completely business.
Yeah.
And I think branding also really does help, and trying to create stuff around their business, so then you're obviously not running into problems with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then just coming up with stuff that is completely for them and for their business, and kind of creating that brand. I think that's why branding is such an important thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then I kind of run past stuff with James as well.
Oh, okay, cool. So you have somebody that helps you out on the copywriting side. That's handy. That's handy. If you've got somebody that's got a natural copywriter and does that, then that's good. Let me just quickly say hello to Brennan Tom, who's coming on the show. Hi, Brennan. How you doing? We're excited to get you on as well, my friend. And he's going to be a new friend of the show. And Sol Maria DeLeon. Hi, Sol Maria from America. She's I can't remember where Brennan is. I think he might be American as well. I'm probably going to get this wrong, but whatever. Hi, Sol Maria. She was on the last series of shows we did as well, so we'll give her a little shout out. Okay, so we've got the pivotal idea is getting that content, working with people on content, and getting content right on social media. And I believe it is a pivotal thing as well. I do think that if you don't have that right, then you are, as we said, posting out for posting's sake, which we see a lot of people do. In fact, I've probably done exactly the same. I
think we've all done it probably at some point, especially in the beginning, just before we educated ourselves. So yeah.
I think as well, like sometimes you're just finding your feet as well. And it's better to obviously it's better to plan it and to come up with good content and thing, but I think sometimes people hold back, and then that slows it down. So I think it's finding the balance, because you don't want to completely not post because you don't know what to post. So I think it's the secret of keeping that balance of, you obviously don't want to just be posting for the sake of posting, but then you don't want to just not be posting, because then your business isn't going to grow. So I think as long as you're keeping it relevant, or just seek out for some advice and some help. I think as long as you're keeping it relevant to your business, then that's kind of stepping stones. So.
I'm gonna also throw in something when we go back to one of the shows that Adrian and I did over the last few weeks. We were chatting about spying on your competition as well. So a good way to maybe have a look at that, and this, I'm just saying this to everybody out there that maybe struggles with this, with not just copywriting, but the content creation. Go and find out who your competition is that you want to level up to, not somebody that's on the same level as you, but something where you want to get to, and go and spy on their Facebook ads. Go and have a look at their Facebook ads and have a look at what they're already doing, what they're doing successfully.
That's so important to do. And I think it's good to research, and it's good to find out what people that are bigger than you are doing. And I think as long as you got to write it down. I always say, get a notepad and pad. Notepad. Why can't I speak today?
Because you're getting tongue tied. Because you're not doing it.
I think it's because you get excited. That's why. Don't worry.
That's it. Excitement.
And I think just write down how you can even make it better, but change it for your brand and for your business. So obviously I don't agree with completely copying it, but changing it. But obviously, if you are in the same industry, there's only so much you can talk about that's not going to cross paths at some point. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think as long as you're changing it to your brand and you're making it your own,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad idea to learn from people and kind of researching it, find out what they've done and how they got there. I think that's a good way to help your own business.
Yeah. Listen, it's an age-old thing but something that we often say. You know, learning from others. I mean, at the end of the day, if these people are doing things right, nobody out there in the world or rarely comes up with something brand new, a brand new bit of copyright and a brand new image that's going to gain some attention. You know, where everybody's bastardizing other people's work, and if you've never done it before, then do that, and then you're going to find your groove. I think. Would you say, Adrian? I think would you agree with that?
Yeah, and not just that. For example, today I was watching something, a guy that developed a game. It was an indie game, and he said as well, I didn't want to do something completely different from scratch, and actually I based my game on a few other games, and then everyone associated me with that game. So because people are not looking always for originality, they look for a bit of familiarity in the things that you do, and if they can identify with that, it's going to work way better for you, you know. So I completely agree with that.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Thing to research it and to learn. I mean, that person would have made mistakes as well, and they've learned from it. So if you can avoid the mistakes and kind of learn from people, then you're kind of. But I think as well with content, it's kind of as well trial and error. So if you're trying these things, you will then eventually, once you analyze it and figure out what did work, what didn't work, you'll then kind of find what is working and what you should be posting about compared to what isn't working. And I think that's where a lot of people do go wrong with content, is they're not checking what is working and what's not working. So I think that's what I try and get across to a lot of people that are like following me, is make sure you are checking what is working, because otherwise you could be wasting your time on posts that no one's really interested about. So I think that's an important point for people to kind of take from it.
So basically do it, test it, review it,
test it, analyze it, test it again,
repeat, and just keep doing that. And you're going to polish your content up, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think as well as things with like targeted ads on Facebook, I think it's good to say if you are going to do it by yourself and one might do better than the other, then definitely sit down and think, okay, what was different? Or look, like you said, look at other people's ads and think, okay, why were they so successful? Why am I not talking? So I think it's good to look at that and then take steps on that.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree. And I want to ask you a quick question. When do you find it more difficult to work with a customer, in the first month or after 6 months?
In what aspect?
When do you think it's more work, or when it's like more difficult, when you have to do more work in the first month or after 6 months of working with that customer? And
personally, I think in the first month you are kind of getting to know them as a person, and then you're trying to get that across to the audience that you're trying to build and the community you're trying to build. Especially if you're doing social media management, you're kind of doing it for them. So you kind of need to learn everything about them, plus get that across to other people. So kind of being the middleman in it can be quite difficult. But then at the same time, things change. So things are always changing. So like, say for now, 6 months ago, when I was working for someone, I didn't know lockdown was going to happen. So now this is difficult. So I think because things are always changing, you just have to be ready for it. But I would definitely say in the first month, I normally find not difficult, but it's obviously you're learning a lot about that person, and then you're having to take notes and kind of get that across to other people.
And the reason why I ask you that is because in both of our jobs, we see people expect sometimes results very, very quick or too soon, and that's why we both probably explain to our customers that look, at first I have to do loads of research about you, testing and all that, until I find or we find something that works, and then we keep tweaking, improving that, and after 6 months, things might get a bit dry just because you're running out of things, and then you have to reinvent. So I think you have a very difficult job, and people should appreciate that quite a lot, because it's not easy, guys.
No, I think as well is it's you with any business you have to be patient, and I think that's sometimes a lot of people lack is patience with business.
I've got shitloads of it. Not.
I never used to be a patient person, but I think when you are building your own business, you do have to be patient. And I think that's one thing I try and get across to a customer. And people expect money there and then. They expect customers there and then. And building a community, building audience on social media takes time. It's not something. I mean, you could grow followers overnight, but if they're not going to be followers that are then going to go into either have business from you or I think some people get stuck up on, okay, I want to grow my audience. I want to have like 1 million followers and that's a bit dramatic, but do you know what I mean? I think sometimes they get so caught up on having followers over actually having an audience that is engaging on your page and that's communicating with you. And I think that's what I try and get across is that is more important than the numbers of how many followers you've got. You need more of an audience.
It is, and I was talking to somebody else about this in the last day or so. Micro influencers, which if people don't know, maybe you might have 1,000, 2,000, maybe even less than that, but 1, 2, 3,000 followers. A lot of designers, or a lot of people now that want to promote their product are actually going to micro influencers that that have got lots of engagement with people on their page because they may only have 1,000 people, but if a couple of hundred of those are engaging with them or on a regular basis, that's probably more powerful than going to somebody that's got 50 or 100,000 that they were probably bought, 2 years ago, and there's virtually no engagement, or their automated bots engagement. You can see it. So, it's important to have the right people. So that's again where you get that content right. It isn't always about having a mass amount of people and filling your ego, going, "Oh yeah, I've got all these followers on my social media." It's about having the right people doing it. To be fair,
I think it's kind of. I mean, it's natural just because, especially social media, it is you kind of get caught up in, oh yeah, I need these followers and I need that. But I think what I try and teach people is that's not what it's about. Because I've had clients in the past that have kind of gone, okay, I want you to get this many followers, but and I'm like, if you're looking for that, then I'm the wrong person for you. Like, obviously, I will grow it, but it's going to take time because I would personally rather grow it slowly, well, not too slowly, but slowly, and have the right people than just have those random people that, it looks good, but you're not going to get any custom from. So
exactly. So there's no point in actually growing your brother's business with loads of followers from India or from Russia or from, because it's not really going to be relevant to anyone, So,
I'm like, you can come and get some window cleaning supplies.
Exactly, but
Some days.
I just want to say hello to Jenny Walker, who also was on the show recently. In the last couple of months on the C19 show from Pasadena in California. So hi, Jenny. Over on Instagram, we will be going out live across all these for very shortly, hopefully with Instagram as well. Though it splits the screen in half, so it doesn't really work very well. Well, listen, I think that you've got a really good idea about how to help people out and actually speak a lot more sense than I've spoken to other people that have been doing it a lot longer than you. So, having that let's say non-preconceived idea about what your the industry and the business and what's going on. I think it's really good, and I quite like the way you come across. I think you sound like you're doing a great job, and I do think that the content is definitely very pivotal for any business. So it's a good thing for people to learn from, for sure.
Yeah,
it sounds like you. Sorry, it sounds like you obviously know what you're doing, and also it sounds like you care, which are two of the most important things when you're actually working with someone. Because like you said, if you don't really care about things and you have other interests, it doesn't really gonna work on the long term.
Yeah, I think as well is if you're just thinking about yourself or you're just thinking, okay, I need the money, I'll take that client on. You just don't have. You might get somewhere with it, but I don't know. Personally, I'd rather work with someone. Say if I was going to then employ someone to do the marketing, if they've got no goal to kind of work alongside me and to build it with me, and they've got no passion, then I don't know. I wouldn't want to. So I want to kind of give that to my customers and give them the care and give them the time. That's kind of me. But yeah, I just like to I want it to make an exciting thing, and I want to see them do well. So.
You carry on doing what you're doing. The fact that you care, that straight honesty, the way you work, it's warming. It's a nice thing, and I think it's good for you. So I wish you all the best of luck with and continuing to grow your business with more clients and doing what you're doing.
Thank you. You guys too. You do really well.
Yeah. Well, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're muddling through.
How long have you guys been doing this for?
We only started today.
You're doing well.
Adrian has been co-hosting with me for the last what? When we start?
This is the third day, basically.
This week, Jesus, these days just carry on. But we started doing the Pivotal Podspective about 3 weeks ago, and we did a number of shows talking about Google My Business, but Pixel, the Google Pixel, Facebook Pixel, and lots of little tips and things that can help people that are really free, basically. But Essex Business Radio has been going since last year, and I've done a couple of series on that side, interviewing and chatting to people. I don't like the interview side of thing. It's more like a chat, really.
That's nice though, because that kind of makes you that's you guys. Do you know what I mean? That what makes you guys. It's a nice, friendly chat, and it definitely you can see that from even your Instagram post that it's just relaxed, but still like you're giving nice value out to people.
Yeah, well, you're giving the value out today, not us. All we're doing is chatting to you about it.
Yeah, true.
Well, Sophie, it's been an absolute pleasure. Is there anything that you think you want to cover before we sort of say goodbye to Sophie? Not forever, of course.
But
Adrian?
Adrian, sorry.
No, you, Sophie.
Oh, really? Okay. I think to start off with, I think people get. They don't really think about branding when it comes to their pages, and I think a lot of people think, well, I'm a business, not a brand. And I think people get a bit confused about this, but I think people need to realize that it's even if you're a small business or you're not a brand, it's still important to think about branding. And I mean, you can get this advice on either my page or Google. So it's not something that has to be, you don't have to spend loads on it. And I just think it's really important for maybe small businesses to maybe stand out from their competitors and to kind of make them. So I think it's really important for them to think about branding.
A quick question before the end.
Yeah, go on.
Your 3 favorite brands and why?
Oh.
It
is a quick question from my side, but I know it's gonna be more.
3 favorite brands. Okay, I know this is like. I think my first.
Yeah.
Just from like kind of what they've done. Yeah. Like Coca-Cola. I think if you're going to learn from it, then definitely study Coca-Cola and their branding techniques and their marketing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Kind of like the big boys, really. Like kind of like even Apple, you can learn a lot from.
Yeah.
What's my third one?
Oh.
It can be any industry. It can be as big as you want, as small as you want. Doesn't matter.
What about one of your clients? Oh no, you can't do that because what about the other clients?
Yeah.
That's a trick.
You can't have a favorite, can you?
You put me on the spot. Now my third one.
Tell me a fashion brand. Okay, let's make it. Tell me a fashion brand.
Clothes. Clothes. Okay, I can think of this. Probably.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Here we've got we've got somebody over on Instagram here. Innocent. That's the drinks brand, right? Tom's marketing, maybe. I mean, I'm assuming Tom's is in Tom's shoes, maybe. Do they have a big marketing thing? I'm not sure.
Airbnb are probably a really good one to learn from as well.
Is that sorry?
Airbnb with their
cool. Yeah.
Where people can maybe not my 3 favorite brands, but where people can study and learn a lot for them. I think Airbnb have done really well. They're quite similar to Coca-Cola, where they're trying to, with their branding, they're getting across how you can feel, and if you do this, then this is where they're going to feel about it. So I think if you are going to study brands and you are going to try and then put that into your brand, they're probably my 3 that I would say to really study and kind of
No more pixels has said, yeah, the shoes. Apparently, they donated for each pair bought. So I'm assuming they probably did some sort of campaign. Whether we saw this in the UK, I'm not sure. This may well be in the States. But yeah, I mean, that is also a good thing. I mean, there's some people sort of launch things that brands like that, don't they? And sort of move into that. Uggs, of course, is a big brand. Not a lover at all. Can't stand them. Please, I'm not bothered about them sending me any, so that's okay. But I can't
actually, Elliot is more of a Crocs brand rather than
Uggs, my God,
yeah.
don't even go there. Don't even go there. Crocs and Uggs, they definitely are never ever going to be sending us pairs. They'll probably get a bloody box of Crocs turn up now at some stage.
Your house.
Yeah.
But the marketing, you can't fault the marketing and the way they worked their products for sure.
I think that's like my biggest advice is if you are looking to do it by yourself with branding, is just look at other brands that have made it, and really, like, you can even get videos on YouTube, but just really think about what did they do well, and that kind of ties in with looking at your competitors and thinking, okay, what have they done well, and I think learning from people is an important step with making business successful.
And that's what our audience is going to do here. They're going to be learning from you, Sophie Extraordinaire.
Exactly.
Well, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you and getting to know you this evening, or morning or afternoon, wherever everybody is. And looking forward to keeping in contact with you and seeing how you're doing and moving forward with your business for sure. So where can people find you then, Soapy? See, now I'm doing it.
I'm sorry.
Hi, Soapy. Where can people find you, Sophie?
So I'm on Instagram. I think that's my Instagram there.
That's your Instagram down there at simply.promotion if everybody wants to see that.
Yep, and I'm also on Facebook. I am on LinkedIn as well. And I've also got a website, but it's all on my Instagram, all the details. So yeah, I focus on majority of the platforms, but I find Instagram's kind of my favorite.
Favorite, is it?
Yeah, I do really like Instagram, and I think that's where I get most of my clients from, and that's where kind of my ideal customer spends their time. So that's kind of where I really focus mine. If
that's what works for you, then you stick to what works for sure.
Yeah, I think as well, it's important not if you don't. I think a lot of people think, oh, I've got to be on every single platform, which is obviously good if you can spread yourself out, then do. But I think you don't have to be on platforms that your customers aren't on. I mean, if you can find one that is really working and just master that one, and then gradually move on to the next one, that's probably be like my biggest advice.
I tell you what, that is the best advice as well. And I hear it from the people that know what they're doing. That is definitely the best advice. I would strongly recommend stick to the one that is working, get that nailed at least fairly well, and then try something else. We're going to be trying TikTok out soon, so that's going to be pretty bloody interesting.
I know. I keep wanting to try it out, but I don't know. When it comes to making turning that into marketing or thing, I'm like, I don't know what to post.
Well, here's the link where we need to check out. Matt State is going to be coming on, so you want to be checking out that episode. He'll be coming on in a couple of weeks' time, I think. He is he's fairly new to TikTok in the last year, and he's absolutely smashing it. So he's got some great tips for us on that side. So you want to be checking that out. Anybody else is listening? Sophie, it's been an absolute pleasure from Simply Promotion here in sunny Essex. Not so sunny today, actually, but we'll go with it. So thank you to you, Sophie, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And thank you
very much.
And thank you, my co-host extraordinaire. And I'm going to point down there like Adrian Dorobantu.
You've done very well.
You guys as well. You are brilliant.
So, guys, if you want to find out more about what Sophie does, then there's going to be a link around a post somewhere, and this will be on YouTube, of course. If you're listening to this as an audio podcast, then you can go and check out the video on YouTube or on Facebook on the Essex Business Radio Facebook page. But you can find us pretty well everywhere on all social media platforms. We haven't mastered any of them, but we're trying it all out, Sophie. But we're mastering a couple at a time. We're just chucking it out there to everybody. It's like Essex Business Radio on demand. Is like
we're quite good on high five. If you remember high five, Sophie.
High five. The hell's
Or
that?
MySpace. Yeah, we're quite good on MySpace. And things
MySpace,
like
Jesus. Yeah, I was on
Like,
MySpace.
taking that back.
yeah, they're closed now, but we're quite good at them. Yeah.
So if you want to check us out, you go and find us out on all the social media platforms. Apart from, it's Essex Business Radio, apart from Twitter, which is Essex Biz, BIZZ Radio. And obviously you can check our website out, which is www.essexbusinessradio.com. Make sure you can, well, you know what, download the bloody app as well. It's free of charge. We're giving this to you. And so you can find that at all good app stores, Essex Business Radio, and all the podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much, Sophie. Thank you very much, Adrian.
Thank you very much, guys.
And I'm going to say ciao for now.
Brown cow. That's what we say.